preparing to go live. And we're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Amber from Knots Untied Within, and I'm a certified emotion code and body code practitioner.
And hello, I'm Holly Pitus, and I too am a certified emotion code and body code practitioner. Actually, working on the body code, just certified in emotion code right now. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are working on knee pain. So are you one of those people that has trouble walking or trouble getting up from your chair at work, or you just need to stand up and stand for a minute before you can start walking because you might be having some knee pain? And could it possibly be caused by a trapped emotion?
Or several.
Yes. So Amber, do you want to tell everybody about how we got started with the emotion code and a little bit about the background?
Well, the emotion code is a healing modality, an energy healing modality by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And he's a holistic chiropractor who had a lot of clients coming in when he was doing a brick and mortar. And over the years, talking to his patients, he realized that we keep our emotions, we shove them down and they get trapped within the energy body. And it came to him through discovery that these emotional energies get released from the organs, going back to ancient Chinese medicine, and they're to be released. We cry them out, we get angry, we get frustrated, whatever, and we're supposed to release them. But what happens if you don't release them? These emotional energies get released from the organs, going back
and
to...
sorry, I've hit a wrong button. Let me just
and they're to be released.
Go on my mute. This is a problem.
So we release these energies and they're supposed to go into the energy field and be released. But if we don't release them, they actually start traveling through the body and go to the weakest link. So, if you're somebody who gets angry a lot, anger gets released, say, from the liver. And if it's not released properly, it's going to either, you're going to have either liver problems or it's going to go somewhere else. And so today, those could go towards your knee because your knee is the weakest link. I can't hear you, Holly. You're on mute.
Let me see if I can figure out my technology tonight. Worked pretty well last week, but you never really know. So anyway, so yes, you really never know where that trapped emotion might find a home in your body. And so actually tonight, we're going to tell you a little bit more about how we go about relieving these trapped emotions. But if you're going to volunteer, which is what we would really like to have, we need to have you type in the comments. We'd like to have you say yes, that you volunteer. And then that you can identify the location of your discomfort. And pretty much today, it's either your right knee or your left knee, the front, the back, the side. And then also give us a severity level of 1 to 10. We like to know where we start at so that we can track if we're going in the right direction to release these. And so we do have 7 keys that are integral in our emotion code process. And as Amber had said, we've both studied under Dr. Bradley Nelson to become certified. And really the first thing that we need, as we said before, is your permission. Once you give permission, then we are able to connect with you energetically. And then you do need to tell us the location of your discomfort, give us your severity level. And then what we're going to do is use the emotion code chart, which has, it's divided into columns and rows. And what it does is it identifies over 60 trapped emotions that are common that can be causing the culprit of your discomfort. And once we identify those, we negate that trapped emotion. And then hopefully you are feeling much better. One of the important keys is that you do have to be hydrated. So you need to drink some water. And so I drink a lot of water. And what it does is our bodies are made up of so much water that we need to have enough hydration in us so that we can have our energy systems flowing. And this might be kind of a new idea for you, that talking about energy systems and connecting with your subconscious mind and then negating these emotions in a through an energetic manner. What we do actually, since it's positive or negative emotions, what we do is we use magnets, which are both positive and negative. And so we swipe it over the governing meridian. It's based on ancient acupuncture points. And what that does is it's similar, if you think about it, to erasing the information that's on a credit card. So there's all that information that's contained in a strip, and if it comes in contact with something magnetic, it actually makes it void. So that is what we aim to do with your negative trapped emotion, is to void it.
Absolutely. And the reason that we get permission, first of all, is because you wouldn't want somebody coming into your house, uninvited. Well, your energy field is the same way. So we like to get permission because we are entering your energy field to identify what emotion or imbalance is in the area that we'll be working on and to release it. We also ask for severity level because your conscious mind, as you're sitting here, you know how much pain you're in. We have no idea. And so we ask for the severity of where you're at to begin with. And then when you're done, what it is, because what our goal is to reduce that pain. And it might just go from a 10 to a 9, or it might go from a 10 to a 5, or it might go from a 10 to a 1 or a 0. It's all completely up to you as to what that feels like, but that's where we gauge things and how we know if we're moving forward or if we need to figure something else out. Healing is done in layers. So, we might clear the first layer today by getting you some relief, and then there's more layers to work on. I know working with my clients, it's usually about, I've had clients who it's been one emotion and her knee pain was completely gone. I've had another client who had 30 years of knee pain, and it took, I'd say, 4 to 5 sessions in order for it to be, and we went deeper. So we went into the body code to completely clear it, but now she's running and she hasn't been able to run in 30 years. So it all really depends on what you have stored in that area. I mean, you could have a 10 out of 10 pain and just have one emotion from 20 years ago. You broke up with, a partner or something like that, and you felt a lot of heartache, and that heartache went straight to your knee because you bumped it that day or something like that. And here you are, 10, 20, 30 years later, and you've got knee pain and you don't know why. Well, it's, something to do with what happened in your life.
Yes. And then also when you're talking about releasing, Amber, sometimes your body is really willing to give something up, and sometimes it wants to hang on to it a little bit longer. It's almost like a bad habit. And you can have this bad habit and you think, oh, I know I really should be giving it up, and I really know it's not good for me, but I'm still going to do it for another period of time. And if that's a day, a week, a month, a year, and before you finally say, okay, enough is enough, I'm just going to be able to release it. And so sometimes these trapped emotions, for some reason, are still sort of serving our body or serving us in some way. And that's why they can be a little bit resistant to being released. But when they do release, it's pretty amazing. And so some people feel, you can really feel any kind of feeling when you're having your emotions released. And so some people feel very happy and very giddy. Some people get very tired. Some people feel a little cranky. It's almost like if you've been eating a lot of sugar and you suddenly say you're going to give up sugar or caffeine, getting that out of your system, you're a little cranky for a couple of days until you get used to the new way of being. And so depending on how you are feeling, just be aware of it and maybe treat yourself a little bit of extra tender loving care for a couple of days. And then suddenly you will find that you're just feeling better. That's our goal.
Absolutely. We got some lovely people watching us. So I want to say hi to Nikki and to Joshua and to Ambra and to Lakana, and to Lauren, and to Summer. So hi, everyone. I also want to take a shout out to my little one, Charlie, who's watching, and I say hi to him every week because he sits there and he watches the TV or the phone and says, hi, Mama. So hi, Charlie. So if you guys want to volunteer, we would love to work on your knee pain. Just put it in the comments. We just need 3 things. We need to know what location your knee pain is in, the severity level of 1 to 10 of how severe you feel it, and whether or not we have permission.
Yes. And so I had someone named Laura who replied that she was going to be attending tonight. So I'm hoping she's going to be able to get online. And we have Lauren saying, hello, ladies. So hello to you, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Amber, I had been in contact, tonight's the L night, because I was in contact earlier with Lee, who happened to get tripped by her dog and she fell on her knee. And so she was saying that this is perfect timing for us to be doing this tonight. So I'm happy to go ahead and work on Lee while we are here. I'm not sure if you're seeing a volunteer on your end yet.
No, not yet. That's okay. I will do some more talking about the emotion code, and I'll go into the body code as to what the difference is while you're working away. So you go ahead.
Okay.
And as she's clearing Lee, I will explain. So the emotion code is the first modality that Dr. Nelson came up with. And it is I would say it's the core to the body code system, which is the bigger system. Because under every imbalance, under every anything that is wrong, there's an association, which is 80 to 90% a trapped emotion. And we have thousands. So it all depends on, what kind of life you've had, how was your childhood, how was your upbringing, your teenage years, any trauma that you've been through, any losses, whether you've lost your job or you've lost a loved one. All of these things bring up negative emotions in us, and we are feeling emotions every single second. So as we're going through life, we're not really taught how to release emotions. When you're younger, don't cry or don't get angry or all of these things. So we've learned to suppress these emotions, and they get actually trapped because we didn't know back then what the outcome could be. So the body code is, there's 6 imbalances that create all symptoms. There's nutritional deficiencies. So, your body could be lacking supplements or certain proteins or, certain foods in your diet that is not helping you to get better. There's circuitry. So circuitry is really interesting because all of our muscles are connected to certain organs and stuff. So for example, the left knee. So if you have left knee pain, it could be that your adrenals are, imbalanced, or there's an issue with them. So by correcting, it's usually following a rabbit down a rabbit hole. But that could be one of the issues. The gallbladder is connected to the muscles right behind the right knee. So again, that could be one of the reasons why you have right knee pain. But it's literally, in our world, it's literally anything. We don't take any assumptions. It's, it could be your baby toe, is having issues, and that's why your knee pain, or your hip is, out of alignment, or your stomach or something like that. Another one is misalignments, as I said. So you could have organs out of misalignment or out of alignment. You could have tissues, you could have muscles and skeletal. Your meridians could be out, your chakras could be out. So all of these things, all contained within your field, could all be out of alignment. And if they're out of alignment, well, then they cause physical issues, because as it starts affecting each of the layers, then our physical body gets affected as well.
See.
You could have energies, so emotional energies, curses,
self-abuse,
entities, broadcasting messages. All of those fall all under energies. You could have toxins, so there could be, EMF toxins or pesticides from what you're eating. Everyday life, stress hormones. If you have an abundance of stress hormones, they could be causing you issues. And pathogens. So pathogens are, you could have fungal, bacterial, mold, either the physical or the energy. And a lot of the times it's not just having the physical in us, it's the connection. So you could have a pathogen to a relationship where you're just sick of it and it just makes you sick even thinking about it, and it'll show up as a pathogen. So it's really quite interesting when you start uncovering the layers and start going down the rabbit hole as to what could be causing, say, the knee pain.
And tonight with Lee. And so I'm just working on disconnecting here. So did I disconnect? No. So my Holly. Did I disconnect from Lee? I've got to disconnect.
Perfect.
So I'm disconnecting. So I'm Holly. Am I done?
We have an Angie Wells joining us. Hi, Angie. Welcome. If you have knee pain, we would love to work on you. Again, we just need to know, we just need permission, which knee, left or right, that you're having issues with, and the severity level, 1 out of 10, as to how severe is that pain. Is it causing, a little bit of discomfort that you kind of feel it, as you start getting up and stuff like that? Or is it popping and groaning every time you get up and every time you move? It's making all sorts of different weird noises that cause us concern. How are you doing over there, Holly?
I am doing great. I'm just refreshing my page too. So that is terrific. And so, yeah, so I'm thinking that Lee is going to be feeling better. And so I had a lot to release. So for anybody that was watching that maybe hasn't seen this before, I have the magnets in my hand. And what I was doing is going through the chart. I have a little mini one right here and identifying where things were. For her, it happened to be some of the emotions that I released were anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, worry, some grief, and some self-abuse. And so, and things like self-abuse, that can be extreme, like starving yourself or gorging yourself. It could also just be insulting yourself. So, maybe you misplace an item and you say, oh, I'm always so stupid because I'm misplacing these items. And so it's any type of negative self-talk that you do. Again, it's kind of a bad habit, but it's eventually you're feeding all of this negativity into yourself. And so being able to release some of those emotions that you've got trapped is really beneficial.
We have 2 volunteers. I've got Amber. Hi, Amber. I'm going to work on Amber. She said she has really bad right knee pains that she can barely walk. So I'm going to assume that that's a 10. I'm going to connect to her now if you want to start talking, Holly, and take over, or we can watch me work on Amber.
Sure. Yeah. And you said 2 volunteers. Is there another one that I could start working on too?
Angie, I'm just waiting back from Angie to see what side she would like worked on. So as soon as I have that information, I can certainly let you know, and you can work on Angie. Absolutely.
Okay, sure. Little bit of a disadvantage because when Amber, if you're connecting, I guess just maybe, I don't know if you can give me I'm not able to see Angie's information. And so,
okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah, so, okay, so Amber will let me know Angie's information. I'd be happy to connect and go ahead and release some of that pain. And so part of what we work on too, while I was working, I was concentrating on what I was doing. And so I didn't really get to hear everything that Amber was talking about. So pardon me if I repeat some of this. But part of what we do is when we're connecting with your subconscious, if you think about it, your subconscious is like your master computer of your existence. And so although right now we're talking and connecting with each other consciously, so we are intending to do this and we're paying attention to what we're doing right now, our subconscious mind is recording everything in the background. So it's pretty much like that master key to your computer, that it's like the hard drive. So even if you have a problem with your program not running correctly, or you lose a file or something, a master technician is able to access it from the hard drive of your computer. So when Amber and I are saying that we're going to access your subconscious and ask it a yes or no question, we aren't asking anything invasive. It's nothing that you wouldn't want us to know if we were speaking casually at a dinner party or something. These are simply just yes or no questions. So the nice thing about it is that we can know that there was an event that happened in your life, but we don't need to know the details of the event. So if it's particularly beneficial if you had something that was really heartbreaking or frightening or very traumatic, you don't have to bring up the details of the event. And there are also some things that were so minor you don't even recall. But sometimes you can have a problem. I don't know, you walk into a room, you're wearing an outfit, you think that you look really good, and somebody says, "Oh, is that what you're wearing today?" You know, and you can just take offense at it or feel bad or feel hurt or injured. And for some reason, then every time you're going to get dressed or go into a new place, you can feel like you're a little bit nervous or something. And it's just because at one point somebody made a comment and it just stuck with you. So that's the benefit of this system, is that so often we're just so used to being the way we're being that we don't even really realize that it can be these negative trapped emotions that we're not aware of, and those are what's causing the problem.
All right, so Angie says that she has left knee pain, 10 out of 10 on the left side.
Okay, Angie. Well, thank you for being with us tonight, Angie. So, Amber, do you want me to do this out loud, or do you want to do it out loud?
I can do out loud.
Okay.
I'm working on, so I've cleared all of Amber's trapped, where it, I've cleared hidden, I've cleared an absorbed emotion of indecisiveness, and now I'm working on inherited. So this is what muscle testing looks like. So muscle testing is how we do things. And what it looks like is when your body is in truth to who you are, and you're telling the truth and everything is congruent, then your body will stay strong and it will lock. And when you're telling lies or you're thinking of things that are incongruent to who you are, then your muscles will naturally go weak. Really? And that's what you can do a sway test. If you're standing up straight, you know, if any of you want to try this, if you're standing there and you close your eyes and you think of babies and puppies and true love and what that all feels like, your body is naturally going to sway forward. But when you're thinking of, you know, not nice things like war and crime and all of those things that are incongruent, your body's going to start falling backwards. And you know, it's a great way to start to beginning muscle testing, you know, where you could access your own body and your own subconscious on your own by just learning muscle testing. Dr. Nelson, if you go to his page, discoverhealing.com, you can access this information yourself. You could buy the book yourself and learn how to do this stuff on your own, so that you can empower yourself to learn how to muscle test. I mean, you could literally walk down the grocery store aisle in any grocery store and go, you know, are these shrimps good for me? Is this brand of shrimp good for me? Is this brand of shrimp? And it'll actually tell you, you know, you could do it for supplements, you could do it for foods, you could do it for literally anything. I'm creating food guides for my clients that are based on what their subconscious wants. So it's not something that somebody else has created and is, you know, this is their information, or it's not the newest fad diet that worked for, you know, Joe over here. This is what your body is saying that you need in order for you to get through whatever period you're getting through. So whether it's to balance your body, or it's to heal parts of your body, or to fight inflammation, or it's weight loss, this is what your body is telling you that you need. And I do it on a, you know, scale of 1 to 10. 0 to 4 is, you know, stay away from those foods because they're highly inflammation for you. 5 to 7 is yellow food, so, you know, maybe once in a while, and then your green foods are the ones that you should be eating. And so I go through that. So are there any inherited emotions that are causing the right knee pain for Amber? Yes. Under 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10,
Is it from her mom, her dad?
9,
Is it, how many generations does this go back? Is it under 5, 4? So 4 generations on your dad's side of A, B, odd, 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4 of unsupported. So you can use a magnet. I use just my hand right now because my magnet is not at my desk here. But your hand is electromagnetic as well. So it will do the same thing.
3,
So to clear inherited,
knee pain.
or sorry, unsupported,
Column A.
I am clearing inherited unsupported from Amber. Has that been cleared? Yes. Are there any vibrational resonance? Yes. So vibrational resonance is, you know, we have emotions that are vibrating, and when they get set off, then they'll vibrate within you. You know, that's how emotional eating is. You know, there's usually a bunch of emotions that are low vibrating, but if you have big ones, they're the ones that, you know, if somebody is always angry, they're vibrating at angry, and that those emotions are constantly vibrating. It's like when you know, do a tuning fork and it just keeps vibrating for a really long time. That's what vibrational resonance. So how many vibrational resonances are under 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, A, odd, even, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Deleting vibrational resonance of guilt. Has that been cleared? Yes. Is there any psychic trauma? So psychic trauma, I mean, it's a compound emotion. They've changed the wording now, but it's a new vibration. So it's a purple vibration is what I call it. So if you've had, you know, fear and sadness, and it's vibrating at one and sadness is at the other, well, when you mix them together, it causes this new purple vibration. So do we have any of those? No. Do we have any prenatal? So prenatal is something that is absorbed to you while you're in the womb.
There we go.
Is there any trauma energy that is causing this? No. So before today, what was the severity of Amber's right knee pain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what is the severity now that we've cleared all of these emotions and I've realigned the ankles and the knees? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I've got this layer. As I said, healing is done in layers. So I've got everything I could clear from this layer. So Amber, if you want to do me a favor and get up and move around and get that energy moving again, because what happens, it's a flow of energy, right? And if you take one of these emotions and they're a ball of energy, either the size of an orange or the size of a cantaloupe, and they get stuck within our energy field, it's like putting a big boulder into a stream, and that stream can't go around. So it's going to go into the sides of the stream, right? Well, that's happening with these energies and these emotions, is that it's a big ball of energy into an energy field, and that energy field gets distorted. So it starts going outside of the energy field and starts physically affecting us and into our physical body. So if you want to go ahead and get up and move around and get that knee moving, I'd love to know what the severity is now after we've worked on you.
Resonance of depression.
And if there's anyone else watching who would like to have their knee worked on. We would love to work on you. What we need is what side is your knee pain on, permission that we can work on you, and what is the severity level, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is that hurting you? And then what we do is we gauge it, like we're doing right now with Amber, and Angie will be asked in a second to move around to see how much it's improved. Some people go from a 10 to a 1. Some people go from a 10 to a 9. And there's no judgment. It's just a gauge to see, okay, this is where we've gotten. And, you know, there could be processing over the next day or so. I've had some clients who, you know, they started at a 10 out of 10 and they could barely move. And we got them down to say a 4 or a 5. And then the next day, you know, as these energies are clearing, they could go up a little bit and they, you know, go up to an 8. And so, you know, for a day or two, they're at an 8. But by day 3, 4, 5, it brings it down again so that it's, you know, down to a 5 or a 4 or a 6, but at least you're not at a 10 anymore. And if you are, there's just more healing. And that's just an area that a lot of trapped emotions have gone to. And I've had it, you know, when I was clearing my own pains within my own body, it was layer after layer. And you're like, oh, is this ever going to be done? And now I'm zero. There's zero pain. You know, I've had hip pain for 20 years that I thought, okay, that's just how it's going to be. And, you know, I no longer, once in a while, I can maybe feel it. And I'm like, oh, I probably trapped some emotions in there, you know, because it still needs a little bit of healing to do. But what we do is we clear the blockages to allow your body's healing to take over. So let's see how everyone's doing.
Yeah, so I cleared a lot for you, Angie. I'm wondering too if you can get up and move around a little bit, or if you feel any difference in your knee, and if you could put it in the comments if it's anything that you may have felt during the session, if you felt tingly or you felt nothing, whatever it would be. And then also tell me how your knee is doing. I'm hoping that you can feel a difference right today. And so we're just going to give Amber a couple of moments here to check in the comments. Sometimes it takes a moment because you have to refresh the page to see any new comments that have come through. And so again, certainly we thank you for joining us tonight. I know we're a little bit over time at this point. So once we get those comments, then we're going to get an update on how everyone is doing.
Amber says she's still the same, but hopeful for tomorrow, maybe better. You know, that does happen. I would give it a bit more time. I'll check in with you tomorrow to see how you're doing, but give it a bit more time because it's only been a couple of seconds that energy still, I cleared a lot of emotions. So, you know, it could take, you know, a few minutes before you could start noticing. Just keep moving it if you can. The more stagnant it is, it allows the energy to just sit there, but we want it to get flowing again. And we're waiting on Angie.
Yeah, if Angie has anything. Again, too, with processing, if you guys drink some water, that can be really helpful too. I think sometimes people drink a lot of soda or coffee or tea, and you think that you're hydrated enough, but water is really the best thing to hydrate you. So
absolutely,
your body doesn't have to work so hard to squeeze the water out of whatever kind of soda you're drinking. So
Angie says that I can tell that it's a little stronger, making it easier to walk. So that's awesome.
Excellent, Angie.
So I will check in with you as well tomorrow to see how you're doing. I always check in with my clients a day later and a few days after that, just to make sure that they're doing, you know, okay, and that they don't feel alone. I mean, sometimes in this healing journey, you know, we feel alone and that nobody's checking in on us. And, you know, I always check in at, you know, the next day, and then I check in a few days later just to make sure that, you know, everything's okay and that you're processing okay. Because, you know, I don't want anybody I wouldn't want to feel alone in my journey. So I thank you all for watching us. We are over time tonight, but I thank you all for being here. And thank you, Holly, for another wonderful evening. We will see you all next Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Central. We're going to be doing a poll this week. So look for that, what would you guys like us to work on next week? We can work on anxiety. We can work on pain again. We can work on food. Who would like to have their, Rice Krispies or their chocolate chip cookies deleted from their, repertoire or their memory? We can certainly work on that for you. So we'll put in a bunch of options on both of our pages, and then the choice that comes out the best is the one that we're going to work on next week. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Yes. Okay. Well, be sure to join us again next week. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and I hope to see you next week. So good night.
Bye, guys.